All right, if you're worshiping gods and goddesses, there's the absurdity of actually worshiping something that you made with your own hands. Minor prophets bring that out quite a bit. Actually, it gets more absurd than that because this is the chair goddess. So this is an idol to a chair in the form of a goddess. You probably see why it's the chair goddess, not the chair god. It's a very uncomfortable chair. And so in this case, they were bowing down and worshiping an image that they made of something else that they made. So, pretty crazy stuff. We don't do that today, bow down and worship images, stuff we made with our own hands, but they did back then. Fertility goddesses. As we move into idols, we're beginning to see artifacts that are made out of clay. And some historians, archaeologists, believe that the early pottery was developed in making these idols. They would take clay and mold the shape of the goddesses, and then they would throw them into the fire as part of some ceremony. And they would expand and explode, and that was part of their ritual. And then afterwards they recognized that it was very dense and hard, that the fire had hardened it, and so from that developed ceramics and pottery. These are some of the idols, the fertility goddesses, incense burners on the bottom. It's interesting, the top shelf they have toys, what they classify as toys, and they have idols here, and that's makes me wonder, how do they distinguish those between toys and idols? I always have this vision of 3,000 years in the future, if the Lord tarries, someone's digging in a landfill somewhere and finds like Barbie and Ken, and there's so many of these Barbie and Ken, must be some kind of religious significance in their life, and suddenly they become household idols. May not be too far off. But they did find toys made out of ceramic, and of course different types of vessels. Here's a goose vase, I guess. Normally we think of the large storage jars, the amphorae, and they take on many different shapes and sizes through times, when most of the time you find them in fragments, since pottery is breakable, and they define the different types of shards, or sherds. I keep saying shards. Sherds. This is a rim sherd because it's the top of a pot. This is a handle. This is a base sherd. You'll see it's at the very bottom of the pot. This is what they call a body sherd because it comes from somewhere in the middle of the pot.